From Wichita Falls to Paris, from Atoka, Oklahoma to the Dallas area, Texoma has a thriving music scene. Revolving around country rock and blues, the singer-songwriters of the Texoma area reach into the outlying geographic enclaves here and there around the country. It's a scene of music that is defined more by geography than it is a sound and encompasses all the facets of the music scene on either side of the border. Denison, Texas is the hub of this music region, and it's music-friendly in so many ways. Long-standing tradition and musical families spanning generations are the hallmark of this area. Denison is also one of the first 20 cities in the state of Texas to be designated a music-friendly city by the state. My name is Ann House, and I'm a singer here in the Texoma area. We're live casting from beautiful downtown Denison at the Podcast on Main studio. This is Open Mic with Ann House. All right. Every damn time. Every time. Oh my God. I love my Chris. I love my Chris Romaine. Welcome to Open Mic with Ann House. Again, my name is Ann House, and we are here in the Podcast on Main studio at Split Window Studios. We are at the corner of Main and Burnett. Man, it's gotten dark early. At the corner of Main and Burnett, across the street from Heritage Park and Kitty Corner to the 34 Chop House. Excuse me. Welcome to season 5. You know, it's amazing to me, and we were just talking about that too. For a little over a year now, I've been sitting in this seat doing something practically every week, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure how to behave sometimes. Tonight we have with us Barbara and the Dirty Shirleys. What an interesting name. So, Barbara Claxton and Lionel Claxton. Okay. Yes. I wasn't sure, so I wanted to ask. But it's really that. How did y'all come up with that? So, I mean, I know what a Dirty Shirley is, but
yeah, most people don't really know that that's actually a drink, which is just a dirty a Shirley Temple with a little extra put in there. But I used to play in an adult band for a school. That's how I learned how to play with bands. It was an adult
band for school.
Yeah, it was a school of music that had an adult band. It was the only school that I knew of that had adults to do a band. And we had a show over at the Porshek we were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah, we were.
And, over in Keller. And that day that we did the show, it was one of my first shows. I was really nervous. I'd never played in front of people with a band. Oh. And so I didn't eat. I couldn't eat. And so it was the middle of the day, and it was really, really hot. And my bass player at the time said, hey, have a drink, calm down a little. I said, well, I can't do alcohol because I haven't eaten anything, and I'll just get really dizzy and crazy. And he said, don't worry, let me get you something. And so he brought me something. I go, what's that? He says, it's a Shirley Temple. So I started drinking. I said, these are really good. This is the best Shirley Temple I ever had. And I had a couple, and then he laughed at me, and he said, well, that's a Dirty Shirley. And I'm like, what's a Dirty Shirley? It's like, what's a Shirley Temple with something dirty in it? And so needless to say, that show was...
Oh, that show had to have been interesting.
It was interesting. I was a lot more relaxed, but I really was kind of dizzy, and we laugh about it now. At the end of the show, I ended up calling the guys Dirty Shirleys. Okay. And that's kind of how the name stuck, just Barbara and the Dirty Shirleys. And so I took it with me when I left that school. Right. And kept the name, and ever since then, it's been Barbara and the Dirty Shirleys.
So what school did you go to?
It was called Creative Soul. It's over in Fort Worth area.
Right. Is it a...
It's a music school. It's private music school, kind of like School of Rock, but it's
All right.
its own thing. And it was the only place that offered adult band. And so I thought that was really cool.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is kind of cool. One thing that since Denison has a lot of homegrown musicians, there are music teachers, there are people for whom vocal pedagogy is a thing or what have you, but we don't have anything like that up here, and I'm hoping that at some point somebody decides to put something like that up here because there's so many of us. Like, I don't play anything. Well, okay, I play about that much piano. But I'm a singer, so, it would be nice to be able to.
Yeah, I mean, before that, I'd only played for myself in my living room on a piano, and I just thought, okay, playing with people, how does that work? Oh, there's something called timing. We all have to be in sync, and we all have to do it at the same time and stop at the same time.
And all that sort of
And
good
so
stuff, right?
it was, my first few weeks, I had the looks that I got from the guys who were already there was kind of like, I had to learn quick and how to play along, but it was such a great experience and something I never would have done just join a band, because I would have felt like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not going to do that. But in a school setting and in a learning environment, it was the best thing. And there was a lot of other guys that came in that had never played with bands, and we learned how to gel and how to just
kind of get it together
and be a band and do performances along with the kids, because the kids would do their bands before we were always the last ones on. The adults, but we had, it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience.
It sounds like it. So when did you guys did the playing start first, or the marriage come first, or what?
Marriage came first,
right?
And she started her band. I played at the guitar for a number of years.
Played at the guitar.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of, I think I kind of understand what that means.
Enough to be dangerous, so to speak.
Yes, okay.
And when she started her band, she had all the components for her band and everything. And she kind of put me in there as a rhythm guitarist guy. So I did that.
Slash roadie.
Slash guy who sets up everything, driver, the whole nine. And then that kind of parlayed into being her drummer. So I became the full-fledged drummer for the band about 5 years ago.
So that timing thing came in handy.
So the timing thing really came in handy. Yeah. I mean, she's a classically trained pianist, so
nice.
Don't let that fool you. I mean, she's been playing piano since before I knew her.
Right.
And we've been together a couple decades. So, she's very accomplished in that regard. So the whole band thing, getting that up and running was kind of the next evolution in a lot of ways for her. And I'm just happy to be along the ride.
Yeah, my husband says the same thing about me. So I do want to hear something, though. So you got something you want to start with?
I do. I'll start with the song called Rolling Stone. It's one of the first songs that I wrote and had the guys from the school in the band, the adult band, play along. And so it was kind of neat. I remember the first time that I sat down and heard other musicians playing what I wrote. I just sat there and I remember tearing up because I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
People are, take interest in my song, and it became something bigger than me and outside of me. Yeah. And it's a really great song. It's called The Rolling Stone, and it's basically a song about not letting things get you down when things happen, and just keep on rolling. And that's what the name of the song is.
So while she's setting up, Chris is going to come in and switch some things around for music. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that we are live streaming here off Facebook, but we're also live streaming on KJAM Radio. It's a live 365 station that we sort of kind of run. There's a co-owner. He does most of the heavy lifting because, it's not something I actually have time for. But hey, Thomas. Say hi to Thomas, everybody. But you'll be able to hear that here. Not only that, but tomorrow you'll be able to see the episode on YouTube, and it will get uploaded to, there's a Roku TV channel called Outlaw TV, and then two other radio stations that it will eventually cycle into once we go through the whole process, right?
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
It's interesting to see how, because I didn't start doing this until like about 5 years ago. I've always sung, right? But figuring out the logistics of what needs to happen in order to get people to listen to you, and what processes you have to follow, and then there's that timing thing, because it's apparently I suck at that too. But most people go, "Oh wow, she's got a beautiful voice," so I just kind of let it go.
There you go.
All right, this is Rolling Stone. I can't hear my keys.
Chris, there is need for technical intervention. cannot hear the keys. Oh, that would explain that.
Nothing's gonna shake me, nothing's gonna break me. Tried your best, you've been this right up my chest. I'll admit that you got me hurt. Pick myself up off the dirt. Nothing's gonna hold me down. Tried to kill me with the things you did, things you said, messing with my head. Lit me up for the slaughter, but like a stone in the water. I'm gonna keep on rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling. Gotta keep on rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling. Like a rolling stone, like a rolling stone. And every wonderland has its price, so I wrote the dice, burning with the thunder inside. My eyes are open wide. Tried to kill me with the things you did, things you said, messing with my head. Set me up for the slaughter, but like a stone in the water. I'm gonna keep on rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling. Gotta keep on rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling. Like a rolling stone, like a rolling stone. Even in the darkest night, sun's still gonna rise. Know that you will survive. Come out stronger on the other side. Gotta keep on rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling. Gotta keep on rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling and rolling, rolling, rolling. Like a rolling stone, like a rolling stone. Never gonna keep me down, no, no. And I'm gonna pay your clown, oh no.
Very nice. I keep wanting to sing along with that. Very nice.
Yeah, there actually are harmonies to that.
Take your headphone with you. Oh, and there's a separate one. Okay, sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down like that for right now. And I think we're ready, Chris. So, classically trained pianist.
Yeah, so I learned piano when I was about 11 years old. I had this love for the Bugs Bunny episode of him playing the comprised. I mean, really, that is
Yes, I remember. Yeah,
my
okay.
introduction to classical music was that, and I just loved it. I wanted to learn it, and I had friends that kind of knew how to play piano, who were classically trained and were learning the Suzuki method and such. And
Right.
and so I just started to learn through that, and through lessons. And I had a mentor, a teacher in junior high that she instantly recognized my gravitation to it. And I went from beginner book to the advanced book within like 9 weeks.
Wow.
And started playing the Beethoven and the Mozart and the Bugs Bunny songs that I saw playing, And I did that for a long time, doing the classical music. But then once I got into, my late teens and 20s, I started to get bored with that and wanted to kind of do more kind of pop music. Alicia Keys came to the forefront, and I was like, okay, she's got like classical music kind of put into some jazz stuff, and I want to do that. And that's kind of where I developed in kind of trying to do my own stuff. And then I started songwriting for therapy reasons, writing stuff, just writing emotions down. And I said, I'm going to put A with B, my piano and these, and put it together and see what this sounds like.
See what it comes out with, right?
Yeah, and played it for family and some, close friends, and everyone kept saying, you got to do something with that. You got to do something with that.
And here we are.
And here we are. And here we are. Yeah. What about you? Your musical history?
I got my first guitar when I was like 11.
Oh, wow.
And again, like I said, I played at it. So it was one of those things where
played at it.
My dad actually played music, both in high school and as an adult, and wrote songs and things like that. So I kind of get that bug from him a little bit.
Right.
I like to say. And I later on in life, I picked up guitar again as therapy, physical therapy, actually, to keep my hands moving and things like that. I broke a hand once, and so to kind of get back on mobility, did that. And then you kind of fast forward through life, and her Barbie going into playing music, more modern music and things like that, kind of introduced it back to me that way. And so I re-emerged from a guitar standpoint, kind of fell into the drums.
Yeah, I was going to ask what propos, why the transition?
Why the transition? She had a drummer that quit.
That's a good reason.
And his kit was at our house in our music room. In between,
quit. He's like,
quit.
You want the kit?
You want the kit, the whole nine?
I'll sell it to you.
Sell it to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And truth be told, weeks between rehearsals, I would go out there and play by ear, put a song on that I wanted to learn and kind of figured out. I've always had really good coordination, and I could play by ear that way. And she came up one day while I was up there going at it, and she's like, how did you do that? And I'm like, I just did it.
Yeah.
Like you sound like what you're doing.
You know what you're doing, So,
kind of cool when it works out that way,
right?
Yeah,
I knew enough to be dangerous. I'm like, well, let me just go take lessons. So I really went and worked with a guy named Alex, again, at an adult school. And he helped me unlearn all of the bad traits that I had kind of inherently learned and put in the timing and we're in the clicking your ear and the whole nine yards like that. And that really set the foundation for playing the drums for me and being percussionist. And when her drummer quit, sat behind the kit and basically auditioned 2 songs for her and her band at that time. And they all kind of looked at each other and said, okay, you're in. And
there you go.
The guitars have stayed in the corner since then, and the sticks came out.
Do you play at the guitar just for fun anymore?
Just for fun, yeah. I still do.
Yeah.
It'll always have a place in my heart. Just to kind of sit down and that creative juice of putting chords together and things like that. I don't hold myself to be a guitarist in any way, but I certainly appreciate that instrument.
I appreciate anybody who can play an instrument, to be honest. My big thing is I've been singing for so long, trying to play something and sing at the same time seems like an extremely daunting task because all I've ever done is the singing part. And I'm good at it, but that's all I've ever done. And so anybody who can play an instrument, much less more than one, just kind of like hits that level in my book. So I think it's great that you do that. One of the things that people, it's weird. These interviews tend to be pretty organic, right? Whatever crops up is usually the route we're going, but I have questions that things that I reroute people to and all that. But somebody said What is the weirdest thing you've ever had happen when you were on a road trip to a gig or at a gig like that?
Well, we have a really crazy story.
All right, let's hear it.
We had a gentleman, one of my first guitarists, who was an amazing savant. I mean, he's just wonderful. He had some issues, probably, that were not medicated, that needed to be medicated.
Okay.
Well, we were at a gig, and it was a really important gig because we had a guy that had an internet radio that wanted to come and kind of feel us out because he was interested in not only playing my music, but also kind of sponsoring us and getting us to do some stuff.
That would be cool.
So it was an important show.
Right.
We rehearsed for it. We practiced for it a lot. And we show up at the gig, and he had an episode of some sort. And he had this idea that they were after him. Something was after him. And while we were on the stage getting ready to do our first song, we had already done our sound check and everything.
Right.
He just stood there. He went and he unplugged and walked off the stage and walked out. While we're standing there getting ready to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just stood there and looked at each other, and I didn't even know what to do. I just wanted to start bawling, right? I didn't know what to do. And we decided we just go on. The show must go on, and we did it without a guitar. I mean, he did a lot of leads in the songs, so we were still pretty new at it, and it was, I haven't had a lot of experiences where things go batshit crazy.
Batshit crazy is a good way to put it.
I had to pull myself together and just, the show must go on. Yeah. And we did. But that
is something else. I can only imagine that. That is... I've had friends who have had weird experiences with members of their band when they got up on stage and they were overly medicated or what have you, and or under medicated or just flat out drunk or pick one, right? And it's kind of endemic in the creative industries, music, arts, Next week, we're going to talk with comedians, and I can only imagine how that's going to go. Right? Actually, I don't have to imagine. I know these people. I know exactly how it's going to go. But it's got to be really stressful and really heartbreaking when something like that happens. Did he come back at any point? Did you?
He wanted to come back, but it wasn't the first time that we'd had other issues and other things, and I just felt like it was too much for me to carry that burden.
Yeah. Is he okay now?
I hope so. I haven't kept in contact, but I hope he is, and I hope he got the help he needed.
Yeah. We always hope that for the people that are in our lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you play in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but y'all are from Keller. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah, that's where we've spent the last 19 years of our life, because we're not from Texas, but...
Oh, no? Yeah. Where are you from?
We're from California, Southern California.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Yeah. Southern. Okay, so I got to ask, why'd you come to Texas? Not that I mind you, okay? Texas is my home, and I love it. I will always come back to it, but if you're from Southern California, why Texas?
The jobs.
Ah, okay.
I had a job that offered to move us. They paid for the move and everything, and I kept kicking it off to the side for a year. I kept thinking, what am I going to do in Texas? I'd never even been to Texas.
Right. And
why would I leave California, And we have a son, and at the time he was about first grade or so. And, the school system in L.A. is just not great. And
is it not?
It's not at all.
I don't have any frame of reference for it. So.
Yeah. So Los Angeles School District is just not, it's rough, especially back then. And we were paying for private school, and it was getting costly. And we need to save for his college. How are we going to do that paying private? Yeah. And we decided, let's just check it out. Let's just take a flight and go for the weekend and go look and see where my job would be and see what it's like. And on our flight home that Sunday, I was still going, I don't know, do I want to do this? And he's like, we're selling the house and we're moving.
You decided that it was a good place.
Dollars and cents to me.
Yeah.
It was like, we're doing this.
I worked for FedEx for about 20 years, right? And they moved from, I've forgotten where Kinko's was in California, but they relocated them all out here to McKinney. And so I had a lot of folks who talked about that same experience, the dollars and cents of it, in that they could buy a house here in Texas where they could barely rent a one-bedroom apartment in Southern California. So I get that part of it. Trust me, I get that part of it. We live in a 100-year-old house that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else, right? Denison is a railroad town. At one point, it was the gateway to the West in a lot of ways, because there was we have the Katy Railroad, and it's still a train town, to be honest. Half the places that you can live in the town are right next to train tracks that still operate every day. So it's kind of interesting to see the differences between. There's several artists actually in this area who came from California, who came to Texas. Some of them for personal reasons, some of them for business reasons, like you guys did. And I'm thinking that the transplant is actually a good thing, because it's bringing a lot more differing sounds. There's a lot of, as one might expect, there's a lot of country music in the area, right? And to hear something different, as a matter of fact, pretty much all of this season is is something different. It's not the country music that you come to expect in the area. So I'm glad for that. I'm super, super glad for that. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and we're glad we moved. We've enjoyed it. We've called it home.
Was your son?
He was, actually. At first he was, kind of like, I'm an LA guy. Now he's, I'm Texan.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I can, man, can I understand that. Yeah. I was actually born in Arkansas. So I'm a transplant too, in a manner of speaking. I've been here most of my life. We lived in Virginia and Ohio for a while. And the funny thing, anytime somebody asked us, well, why did y'all move here? My husband, smart ass that he is, would say something like witness protection. And I'm like, really, Chris? You say that? My standard answer was, have you ever had the summers in Texas? I have, and no. So, yeah, I get it. You're playing at River Bottoms in Fort Worth this upcoming Saturday.
Right, yeah,
right?
We're doing
a Halloween thing?
It's a Halloween fest, yeah.
Yeah?
So it's a nice little bar. It's a converted house that has this huge backyard.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. And they've got a stage, and so it's kind of that outdoor feel. The stage sits really high. It's nice.
Yeah.
And they got fire pits if it gets cold. But
oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, they're going to have several bands running through, and the costumes, everybody usually dresses up for that.
Yeah. Are you going to dress up for Halloween?
I am.
What are you going to do for Halloween?
I'm going to do a Katrina, which is, the sugar skull.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm going to be.
What about you?
Yeah, I'll figure something out.
He's still working on it.
Yeah, I'm always a last minute guy when it comes to that stuff. So,
oh, yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Last Halloween, though, he and our bass player wore the kilts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get the Utila kilts, or did you do a regular kilt?
I had a regular kilt.
Yeah. Was it a great kilt? Go over the shoulder and all?
No.
Our bass player had the one that was over the shoulder.
Yeah.
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 Kilts that is a complicated. Women have complicated clothing, right? But that is a complicated piece of clothing.
Yeah, because when I tried it on, when I first bought it, and I'm like, what do you do with all of this stuff? It just kept wrapping, and the girl said, "Oh, just keep wrapping it around, and then you do the buckle." And I'm like, "Wait a second, time out."
There's pleats.
Yeah, and there's pleats, and you have to do the pleats, and you have to do it just right. And it was like getting a small degree in
in Scottish history, right?
Yeah,
no kidding.
Yeah, but fun and comfortable, and it was fun.
Yeah, I do medieval recreation also, so I'm used to seeing kilts, and ones that are done the way they would have been done in the Middle Ages, which is, let's see, the time period 600 to 1630, 1640. So if it was done then, that's how they do it. And so yeah, kilts are interesting to watch somebody fix up and get the buckles and the belt the right way, and it's, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I usually haul out my medieval stuff when it's Halloween time because I have it still. I made it. I'm not getting rid of it. Might as well use it for something. I don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, you said that it was the Bugs Bunny thing that, and my first thought was the Wagnerian one that with Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny, right?
Yeah.
It just popped in my head. It's not a reason that I sang, but it was one of those things where I would have, yes, had that been I would have done that for that reason and that reason only. The ring cycle is just such a huge thing, and yes, it was fun. So what types of things? Let's talk about the songwriting process a little bit. What types of? Do you write songs too? No. Okay. I was that way for a while. I think I'm starting to do this. What kind of? How does the songwriting process work for you? It's different for everybody. I do it when it's quiet.
Yeah.
When nobody else is talking to me and nobody else is going to bug me, which is, I'm mom, so that doesn't always happen. What does it work? How does it work for you?
It's exactly the same. I prefer to be absolutely by myself in the house. No TV on, nothing. I'll even silence my phone because I don't like to be bothered because when I'm in the process of writing, I'm deep in there. And so sometimes I'll have an idea, like the lyrics already, just even if it's just a word or a sentence, and I'll work or build something around it. Sometimes I have chord progression that I go, this sounds really nice. How does this make me feel? Where in my feels am I with this chord progression? And that can dictate where the song goes. But a lot of times it's not either or. I mean, it just happens.
It just is.
It just is, yeah. And then I'll write. I'll write something and write a story around that.
We did an episode about the songwriting process. There's a young man, I say young man, he's in his 40s. I'm in my 50s, so to me he's young, who he won a songwriting competition around here. And we had him in here with another songwriter, and I said, okay, I'm going to give you 3 words, and you're going to start a song. And that's one thing that we talk about all the time here in this show is songwriting process, because I've been in corporate America for way too long.
Yeah, like
right?
this, yeah.
Oh, God. For way too long. And the only way I know how to work is to bounce things off other people, right? Whereas most songwriters are very insular when it comes to writing. They don't want help or input from other people. But I was talking to one, his name is Town, and he said that that's what he does. It's a 3-word thing. So here's your 3 words. Go do it. See what comes out of your head. I would have frozen up. I literally would have just I would have gotten vapor lock, and nothing would have come out of my head. You know what I mean? It would have had to been a very unique set of 3 words kind of thing. Does that? I mean, do you ever? Do things
I've never
like
done that process before.
What prompts it for you? Is it, I'm going to sit down and work on it today and shut all the outside stuff off?
I read a lot of things. And whenever I read an interesting comment, I'll write it down. I'm trying to remember which song. Oh, it was a TikTok. I was reading all the comments on the TikTok, and someone had made a comment about, it was a heavy subject, about spousal abuse. And someone had said, if the lady was saying, but I love him so much, even though he does all this bad stuff to me, I love him, right? And a comment that said, yeah, I would give that person some love. I'd give him 9 millimeters of love. And I thought that was it just popped out to me. And I wrote down.
Really think before consuming water.
I wrote 9 millimeters of love, and I actually wrote an entire song based on that, just 9 millimeters of love. And so I get things off of the TV, or somebody will say something that I hear, and I go, that's funny, and I'll just write it down. Or I'll pop off and say something. We were sitting on the patio one night in the summer, and a storm was coming in, and there was lightning coming, and it was this late night, Saturday night. And I said, hey, baby, bring me the lightning. Give me some lightning. And we just laughed about it. And then I wrote a song that's called Lightning, and it's basically that, give me the lightning.
Okay.
You know, and it's an innuendo of things, but I sat there and I said, dude, that would make a good song. Isn't that what I said? I said, that would make a cool song.
It would make a cool
And then
song.
I
It
just
did make a cool song.
And it ended up being a song. So I'm just very aware of things that are said, that I hear people say, or that I read, and I'll write it down. I write down stuff constantly, put it in my phone.
Yeah.
A comment or whatever. And when it's time that I want to write a song or I'm feeling something, I'll go back to those and pull stuff out of there. And sometimes I get stuck on something, you know, and then I just put it back into my pile of, I call my cemetery of lyrics. And sometimes
It's a deep cemetery.
it's a cemetery.
Really? Yeah. Oh my
And
gosh.
sometimes I'll resurrect something out of there and put it in a song, or if it doesn't work, throw it back in there. And when I use them, I scratch them off, and you know they're already
Right.
gone. But
Is that one of the songs that you brought for us tonight?
actually, no, I did not bring lightning, but
Okay. What else did you bring?
I brought a song, Karma, which is
That sounds interesting.
yeah, that song I wrote is also one of my first songs, which
Okay.
I like to say. I wrote the song Karma with the title Karma before Taylor Swift came out
Okay.
with her song.
Okay.
I was so bummed when she came out with her song called Karma, because I'm like, "Duh." You know,
Oh,
I'd been
yeah, I know.
waiting for just the right musicians and the right everything for the song to be, it's ready to be recorded, right? I had to wait. And it finally got to that point, and, you know, then here comes Taylor and spits out her songs in,
There's
2
a
minutes.
lot of songs that have similar names.
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
But, yeah, that was a story song, and
So how did that one start? Karma.
Karma. So it started with somewhere along the way, someone talking about karma, bad karma coming back to you. You know, if you do something, karma will get you in the end. And so the song is basically about a relationship where it's a person who likes to play with other people's hearts, and then the person falls in love with somebody but feels that they're now getting played and says, this is my karma for what I've done.
Yeah.
And
The karma that cried wolf,
yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, so that's really what
Well,
that song is about.
Let's set up and hear that one. I'd love to hear that. I'm going to go ahead and slide this slider up for number 4, and Chris is going to come in and change out the doodaddys. We are ready, Mr. Romaine. So I know that we said this a little earlier, but we've got Greg Guyman at Gillies from 9:30 to 1:30 a.m. on Friday. Jason Elmore and Hoodoo Witch at Iron Horse, 7 to 10 on Friday. And Daryl Perry at Calhoun's from 7 o'clock. And then, of course, there's jazz at Ivanhoe's. Tonight, there is open mics at the Green Growler, which is down in the Katy Depot. That's ongoing and will go till 10. Yeah, 10. And then Oliver White's doing his open mic tonight over at Old Iron Post from 7 to 10. There we go.
Your love too good to be true. Those eyes, like the devil in disguise. I know who you are. You can't believe what I heard. Just lies, you try to get inside, but I
Is that out on Spotify?
Yes, it is. It is
Yeah.
out on Spotify, and that song is under Barbara Claxton Music.
Cool. Is that where most of your songs are right now?
Most of the majority are under Barbara Claxton. I've started to move it over to put it under the Dirty Shirleys, as I wanted to make my band feel like, they're a part of it, because they are a part of it. And so I did switch it over to the Dirty Shirleys.
Right. Cool. How many songs do you have out right now? Rough ballpark.
I've got 7 or 8 songs out that are on
Cool. On all the streaming
on
platforms?
all streaming platforms. Yeah.
All right. So y'all tune in and listen to some of Barbara and the Dirty Shirleys on Spotify, Apple, all the good streaming places, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to go ahead and push down number 4 and ask Chris to come and play cable jockey again.
He's getting his workout.
Yeah, he is. Very nice. So what do y'all do on your off time? Y'all have an external hobby, or is music it?
Right now it's pretty much all music.
Yeah, right now pretty much it's all the music. We both work full time and really demanding jobs. He travels a lot, during the week sometime for his job.
That's got to suck.
Yeah. So the music pretty much takes over everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every once in a while he'll get out and try to golf or shoot.
Something. Try to get out and do a little something different. But
Get your steps in, so to speak.
yeah, so to speak. Yeah. But,
So, your son's grown, it sounds like.
He is, yeah.
Mine are too, so.
He's an adult. He's 28 years old. Yeah, about to be
Yeah.
28. He's over in Pflugerville. He's in the fire department. He just just got out of probation and starting his
How cool.
fire career. So,
Well, I'm so
excited
glad
about that.
for him.
Yeah.
I really am. My kiddos are 30 and 32. Oh my God, am I that old? I guess I am that old. Did y'all bring any merch or anything like
We
that to
did.
show off?
We brought you some.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Let's
Yeah, we
take a
brought
look
you a
at
couple of
Ooh,
T-shirts there.
Look at the
and the
stickers. I love it. That's great. Okay, Chris, you're going to have to pan over this way. Okay, so can you see the stickers? Those are really pretty cool.
Thank you.
Can you get these off your website, or do you operate strictly out of
Pretty much
Facebook
right
or-
now, we're just, on shows, taking the shirts
Aw,
out.
I love this. Tied up and everything. That makes it easier to transport, doesn't it?
So you
So-
see, it matches my pants. That's kind of a theme on my
Is it?
my band is the leopard
Right.
print, red and black.
So this one's already opened up,
Yeah.
so we get to see the whole thing.
Yeah. We just got some
That's
new
really
hoodies
cool.
that came in just on Friday, right? So we still unpacking that stuff. But
I love the keyboard and the staff. That's pretty cool. I love that. So if somebody wanted to contact you about playing, where would they contact you?
the best place would be either Facebook or Instagram. They can DM me,
Okay.
direct message
Right.
anytime. Also on Messenger. I'm pretty quick at responding. My phone
I noticed that.
is always on my hip. I don't want to miss any opportunities. But yeah,
Right?
anytime. Yeah.
So Barbara and the Dirty Shirleys on Facebook and Instagram.
And
right?
TikTok, yeah.
And TikTok. So you can find them
Yeah.
pretty much anywhere there.
Yeah.
Cool. So the last thing I want to say is it's the same thing that you guys hear all the time. If you are watching this on Facebook, go to Barbara and the Dirty Shirleys and like their profile on Facebook. You have YouTube?
I do have a couple YouTube out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you see them on YouTube, go and subscribe and share it out to everybody. If you see them on TikTok, follow them on TikTok. But the same goes for Ann House Music and Open Mic with Ann House, because without this kind of thing, whether it's mine or another show, these guys don't get to sit down and talk with somebody, and you get a better idea of who you're listening to, and most people seem to want that. I know I do. It's one of the reasons I enjoy doing this. That I also get to pick other people's brains for how they do things. Y'all think this is a totally altruistic thing. Not so much, right?
Yeah.
But if you're watching this particular live stream on Facebook, I want you to go and like like this particular episode, you can do that. Send comments, do whatever you want to. I'll respond to them as soon as I get back home. If you watch this on YouTube tomorrow, it'll be uploaded tomorrow, providing I can get it in the right format. I want you to go and listen to it tomorrow, because if you let it run in the background, you get a better idea of what's going on with your favorite musicians. You also fix it so that I can monetize this, because if I can monetize it, I can have more episodes, right? If you send stars on Facebook, guess what? Stars turn into money. Money turns into more episodes. If you listen to this on any one of 3 different internet radio stations, go to my website, annhousemusic.com. There is a tip jar. It literally looks like a tip jar, people. Click it, send a donation. If you are inclined, I have a Patreon account. You can be a patron for Patreon for me for free, right? Or you can send $3 a month. $3 a month. Come on, guys. And maybe there's going to be extra stuff up there. I post something up there every other day. Help support Open Mic with Ann House so that we can bring more of these to you, so that there are more episodes, so that people like Barbara and Lionel can get further out. You know, once you put something on the interwebs, it stays there forever. Yeah. So this will always be out there for people to go and listen to watch. It just makes sense, right?
It's
It
wonderful.
really does.
It's a great thing that you do. I mean,
Thank you.
Nobody would be able to know in Denison who Barbara and the Dirty Shirleys are, right?
I know, right?
And I wouldn't know where to come out here to play and get people to know us. So it's
That's
great.
absolutely true. It gives opportunities for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Because of this show, somebody, I don't know who, it was anonymous, nominated me for a news article. There's a online news magazine type thing that highlights the entertainment industry, I guess, or what have you. And out of the blue, it showed up in my inbox. Would you be interested in doing this? I'm like, well, yes, of course. So the word gets around, and the more the word gets around, the better, the more you guys get to play. Hopefully at some point, the more I'll get to play. You know, things like that. And it's important that we have that, right? Denison is such a warm and inviting community for everybody that I think that we can help support each other. Go get I'm sure there's a digital tip jar floating around for you guys somewhere, right? Especially if you're on Facebook. Guess what? You can send them stars, right?
Yeah.
Just like you can send them to Open Mic with Ann House. So I thank you very much for coming up. I really do. That was a trek. I really appreciate you guys
Thank you for
this.
having us. We really enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah, this was great.
Yeah.
You know, the whole experience is phenomenal and really warm, inviting.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you having us up here. Thank you.
Of course. Saturday, pub crawl, people. Y'all come up and take a look out here at this. This pub crawl will be off the chain, I promise you. It always is, especially the zombie one, right? The one that we had at St. Patrick's Day was just... the one.
Somebody's excited about the pub crawl.
right?
You know, he's looking forward to it.
I'm surprised he didn't lean in here and go, brains. No, the pub crawl, the St. Patrick's Day pub crawl that we had there's a video out there.
It's on the internet.
It's on the internet.
There's evidence.
There is evidence. There is a video out there. I was sitting here in the studio, and people were going up, and it was raining. So right, people were going, and we had some people who had over imbibed a little bit into the studio. It was absolutely hilarious. I love watching drunks. It's one of my favorite pastimes. You know what I mean?
They can be entertaining.
They could be entertaining, but no, seriously, there's some really great venues up here, and I'll send you a list.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because, I really think that the more we have people come up from the Metroplex, the more people from here will be down there in the Metroplex, and it's, really great cross-pollination thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, pardon me, I'm so sorry. Thank you again for coming. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a great and safe drive home, okay?
Thanks so
Will do.
much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
From Wichita Falls to Paris, from Atoka, Oklahoma to the Dallas area, Texoma has a thriving music scene. Revolving around country rock and blues, the singer-songwriters of the Texoma area reach into the outlying geographic enclaves here and there around the country. It's a scene of music that is defined more by geography than it is a sound, and encompasses all the facets of the music scene on either side of the border. Denison, Texas is the hub of this music region, and it's music-friendly in so many ways. Long-standing tradition and musical family spanning generations are the hallmark of this area. Denison is also one of the first 20 cities in the state of Texas to be designated a music-friendly city by the state. My name is Ann House, and I'm a singer here in the Texoma area. We're live casting from beautiful downtown Denison at the Podcast on Main studio. This is Open Mic with Ann House.